Today we're diving into someone who I'm sure a lot of you have some opinions about already.
Yeah, no kidding.
Elon Musk. But this deep dive isn't about just like skimming the surface.
Right.
We're using the sources that you sent in
Exactly.
to get a more complete picture. of the
Absolutely.
behavior.
For sure. And it's fascinating because we're not talking about like your average, Silicon Valley success story.
Right.
This goes way beyond,
Yeah.
we're talking about ambition on like a massive scale. And, the line between innovation and disruption and even questions about what it even means to be human these days
Yeah,
with technology changing so fast.
absolutely. And it's a story that begins in Pretoria, South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people have heard the coding prodigy thing.
Yeah, the like child genius story.
Yeah. Sold his first game at 12.
Like, come on.
I know, but here's what I find interesting.
What's that?
The game was called Blastar,
Oh, yeah.
a space-themed shooter.
So, like, was SpaceX kind of in his mind?
I know, right? Even back then.
Wow.
But, the sources also highlight that his childhood wasn't exactly perfect.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not. I mean, bullying,
Yeah.
parents' divorce, that kind of stuff.
Right. Like, how much did that shape him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to have some impact.
It makes his move to North America all the more interesting.
Right.
First Canada, then the University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Double majored in physics and ED economics.
Whoa. That's not your usual
Yeah.
tech CEO path.
Right. They usually just stick to computer science.
I think the combo is what's key.
Yeah.
I mean, physics, you learn all about the laws of the universe.
Right.
Economics is about like human behavior systems.
Right.
And Musk's companies often like combine both.
Yeah. Was it intentional?
Yeah.
Or did it just kind of happen?
Like a master plan or
Yeah. Just look.
from Zip2 to X.com, culminating in PayPal.
Yeah. That's already impressive.
I know, right?
Like most people would be done. And those sale prices.
Oh, tell me about it.
$307 million for Zip2.
Wow.
Then eBay buys PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock.
Yeah, you think he'd be on some yacht somewhere.
Right.
But that's where he's different.
Yeah.
He didn't stop there.
Right.
The money was like almost nothing to him.
Yeah, you just reinvested it.
Into SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City.
Yeah, it's like every company was just like,
A bigger puzzle.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, so let's give our listeners like a quick rundown of these companies.
Okay.
The highlights: SpaceX making space accessible not just for governments,
Right.
but for like everyday people.
Yeah, democratizing space travel.
Exactly. Tesla taking electric cars from like a niche thing to mainstream.
Yeah, and making them cool.
Right, cool. Solar City trying to make renewable energy.
Viable.
Yeah.
And we can't forget Neuralink now. That's where things get a little,
Wild.
brain-machine interfaces.
Straight out of sci-fi.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Enhancing human capabilities. And then there's the Boring Company trying to solve traffic.
With tunnels.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Each one of these companies is disrupting like massive industries.
Right.
But are they all actually good?
Right.
That's where the controversy comes in.
Yeah, and it's like hard to keep up with all of them.
I know.
But before we get to all that,
Yeah.
his personal life.
Oh, yeah. The media loves that.
Right.
Always in the headlines.
And these sources you sent in have some interesting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Marriages to Justine Wilson, Tallulah Riley, a relationship with Grimes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And get this, 10 kids.
10 kids.
That's wild.
That's a choice.
You don't see that very often.
Right. Like, what does that say about him?
It's his priorities or how he manages all that.
It's like he's living like 5 different lives.
Yeah.
But things get even more complicated with all the controversies.
There we go.
The workplace allegations at Tesla, the tweets.
He's not afraid to stir the pot.
No, he's not. And then there's the really out there stuff.
Yeah, like what?
The Antichrist claims.
Oh, boy.
And we're not here to endorse any of that.
Of course not.
But some people make that connection.
And we got to understand why.
Yeah, it's not just the electric cars or the rocket.
Right. It goes deeper.
It's Neuralink, right?
Yeah. The brain-machine interface stuff.
That's where the sci-fi starts to feel
Real.
a little too real.
Yeah, and to understand the whole Antichrist thing,
Yeah.
we have to understand what a brain-machine interface even is.
Okay.
So imagine a device
Okay.
implanted in your brain
Mm-hmm.
that interacts directly with your neurons.
Whoa.
So the potential is amazing.
Mhm.
Treating neurological disorders,
Right.
enhancing your brain,
Yeah.
even merging with AI.
What?
Yeah, to like survive the robot uprising and all that.
Okay.
But to some people, it sounds like we're losing our humanity,
Right.
like a dystopia.
So we're not just talking about cars anymore.
Nope.
We're talking about like what it means to be human.
Exactly.
No wonder people are freaking out.
I know, right? And those fears get put on Musk.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes like the symbol of technology going too far.
Right? Whether it's fair or not, it's part of his image.
Absolutely. We're giving you the info,
Yeah.
the context.
Mm-hmm.
Now you decide what to think.
It's a lot to process, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we've only scratched the surface.
I know.
This is where the deep dive gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to keep going.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny how those Antichrist claims,
Yeah.
as crazy as they sound,
Right?
tap into like a real fear
Yeah.
about technology.
Yeah, like losing control.
Exactly.
Becoming something else.
Right. And Musk,
Yeah.
whether he means to or not,
Right.
he represents that for some people.
He's become like this lightning rod
Yeah,
for all that anxiety.
totally. And the sources you sent
Yeah.
really highlight that, like two sides of them.
Right.
On one hand, you've got this ambitious entrepreneur
Yeah.
who wants to help humanity,
Right. Pushing the boundaries.
but then there's the other side,
Yeah, the people who see a dark side.
like a recklessness.
Yeah, disregard for ethics.
Maybe even a God complex.
It's like he's this walking contradiction.
Totally.
Like both our hopes and fears
I know.
for the future.
The sources paint this picture of a guy
Yeah.
driven to solve problems,
Yeah.
to
Wouldn't
innovate.
push us forward.
But then there's also these controversial decisions,
Yeah.
workplace issues, even his own tweets.
Right, like what's his deal?
Yeah, it makes you question his methods and motives.
It keeps people talking though.
Oh, for sure.
And to really get him,
Yeah.
we got to look closer at the companies.
Okay.
Not just as separate things, but as part of a bigger plan.
Okay, let's start with Tesla,
Okay.
because it's more than just fancy electric cars.
Right.
It's a whole ecosystem,
Yeah, the cars, the charging, the self-driving stuff.
and that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Tesla's not just changing the car industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's changing how we think about transportation.
Right.
Think about self-driving cars.
Okay.
It could change everything.
Yeah, commutes, deliveries,
Yeah.
even cities.
It's like something out of a movie.
Right, but it also brings up all these ethical questions.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like what happens to all the drivers?
Yeah, truck drivers, taxi drivers.
And how do we know these systems are safe?
And who's responsible when something goes wrong?
These are questions we need to figure out now.
Yeah,
And Tesla is leading the way.
right. It's not just the technology.
It's the impact it'll have.
Good and bad.
Exactly.
And it's that same drive to change things
Yeah.
that we see with SpaceX,
Yeah.
making humanity multiplanetary.
That's a big goal.
That's an understatement.
But the way they're doing it,
Yeah, reusable rockets, tons of satellites.
like they're playing a different game.
Yeah, and they're winning.
They're the main ones taking stuff to the space station.
Yeah,
They land rockets vertically,
I know, it's crazy.
and Starship,
That's the Mars ship, right?
the one that's supposed to take us there.
Imagine actually going to another planet.
I know, it's mind-blowing.
And Musk is great at selling that vision.
Oh yeah, to investors, to everyone.
But it makes you wonder about priorities.
Right.
Like, is going to Mars more important than problems here? Like climate change?
Yeah, or poverty.
And who gets to go?
Those are big questions.
Yeah, and it's not just SpaceX.
It's about Musk's whole ambition.
To solve huge problems.
But as we've seen, those solutions
Yeah.
come with their own problems.
So where do we go from here?
Well, we've looked at his childhood,
Right.
his companies.
The controversies.
But to really get him,
Yeah.
we need to go deeper
Beyond the headlines.
to who he really is.
And what drives him.
And that's where it gets really fascinating.
Okay.
Because to understand Elon Musk,
Yeah.
we have to look at our own hopes and fears.
About the future he's creating.
We're all part of this.
Yeah. Whether we like it or not.
Buckle up.
So we've been talking a lot about Elon Musk.
Yeah, a lot to unpack.
You know, the companies, the controversies, all that. But we've mostly been looking from the outside.
Right. Analyzing him.
What about Musk himself, though?
No, that's important.
Like, what does he have to say?
Right. What's his perspective?
Exactly. You know, what are his motivations?
Well, luckily, the sources you sent
Yeah.
have a ton of quotes and stuff.
Oh, perfect.
Directly from Musk.
Okay, so like, what's he actually saying?
One that stands out to me is,
Yeah.
if something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor.
Whoa. It's bold, right?
Yeah, and it kind of explains why he takes on these, like, impossible challenges.
Exactly like Mars.
Yeah. Or changing how we get around.
And he's not afraid of risk.
Not at all. Another quote.
Yeah.
Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough.
Wow. especially when you're dealing with rockets and self-driving cars.
Right. It takes guts to say that.
It's a mindset. Like,
Yeah.
you got to experiment, try things out fast.
Even if it means messing up.
Right. And he's had some big breakthroughs.
Yeah. But it makes you wonder.
About the cost.
Yeah, like the money and the danger.
Definitely. And this brings us back to Neuralink.
Because there, the stakes are even higher.
It's not just cars or energy.
Talk about the brain.
Yeah, the core of who we are.
And what Musk says about Neuralink.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, but also kind of scary.
How?
Well, on one hand, he talks about curing diseases,
Okay.
making us smarter, even merging with AI.
To, like, survive the robots?
Right. But he also knows there are risks, ethical problems, potential for abuse.
So he's not just ignoring the bad stuff.
No, he's aware of it.
He's not just some naive futurist.
Right. He's thinking about the consequences.
That's what makes him so interesting.
Definitely. He's hard to put in a box.
Yeah.
He's ambitious, idealistic, but also practical.
And maybe a little arrogant.
Maybe just a little.
That's why he's such a good topic for a deep dive.
Absolutely. He keeps us on our toes.
So as we wrap this up,
Yeah.
I have more questions than answers.
That's how it should be.
Right.
Musk wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, he wants us to think,
To debate.
not just accept things blindly.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Well said, and that's a good lesson for all of us.
No matter what you think about Elon Musk.
Well, thanks for joining us on this exploration.
It's been a wild ride.
Hopefully you learned some new stuff.
And got some new perspectives.
Maybe even a little skeptical.
Healthy skepticism is good.
Keep questioning, keep learning, and as always,
Thanks for diving deep with us.
see you next time.